You must pay attention to this kind of ball. Apply more downward force. Let's talk in terms of the bottom of the racket. The racket head is essentially the base. You need to feel whether the ball has spin. Then you do it like this. Drive the bottom of the racket forward. If you feel the ball has no spin, then drive the racket bottom toward the table. If the ball has half spin or almost none, then drive the racket bottom toward the net. Yes, racket bottom toward the net. It's that simple. Why does your push always pop up? Because your racket bottom is pointing toward your opponent. See, when your racket bottom faces the opponent, then your opponent will easily attack it. So your racket bottom must face the table. Let me clarify the distinctions. Racket bottom toward the table. That's for balls that aren't very spinny. For heavy spin balls, drive the racket bottom toward the opponent. When you feel it's half spin or no spin, the racket surface during your push should face the bottom of the net. See my racket angle here. This angle. It shouldn't be like this. Here's a reference standard. This one is for spin balls. Drive forward. This one's for half spin or no spin, angle diagonally. And this one's for no spin, drive downward. Spin, half spin, no spin. Now let's talk about the flick. For amateurs, the forehand flick is actually not that easy. When you flick, your wrist must have a pushing feeling. When looping, you must have a wrapping feeling. When flicking, you must have a pushing feeling. Don't mix them up. Yes, when you push with the wrist, the flick becomes easier. Let's take a look. Push with the wrist. Wrist pushes forward. For pen hold players, also push. Extend your wrist forward. Don't flip the racket. Flipping is more advanced. This is the simplest way. If you flip the racket, you need to judge the spin carefully. Yes, you can see it like this. Extend your wrist forward. Then move forward. This is the simplest and safest method. Of course, it must be against a topspin ball. The motion shouldn't go upward. Push straight forward. Let me do it slowly. Yes, extend your wrist. Move forward. Now, let's talk about the fourth key point today. By now, most of our students have solid fundamentals. The level here in Shanghai is really high. Next, let's discuss the backhand side. Do you often miss this type of ball? Many players serve like this. One of my fans was really funny. He brought 2 videos to me. He said, "Can you analyze my opponent? Why do I always get tricked by this serve? One serve is like this, and the second one like that. You can't produce any quality return." So how do we receive this kind of ball? First of all, it's a matter of footwork. Whenever it's a wide ball like this, you should first think about your feet. If your feet are here, and you only move sideways, you'll still miss the ball, so the key is to move around the corner of the table. Step a bit forward. You see, you must receive like this. You need to adjust your position. Let me analyze it for everyone. Let me borrow your racket. If the ball comes like this, your foot needs to move up to here. You have to step forward, only then can you cover this position. See, if you just move sideways, the ball goes to the side. You'll still miss it. It's a diagonal ball, not a straight one. Yes, that's why you can't borrow its power. You must use your legs. Many players make mistakes in this position. Once your foot moves forward, it becomes much easier. Step around and find the right contact point. That's a footwork problem. Some players ask me, for short balls on the forehand and backhand sides, should I step once or twice? For example, for a ball here or here, should you take 1 or 2 steps forward? You can actually take 2 steps. For example, on a short forehand, you can't reach it with 1 step. 1 step. 2 step. Usually, we only need 1 step. But many players find 1 step hard. You can add a small step. This way you can lock into position. Move your left foot first, then your right foot, then you're in place. Same goes for the backhand. If you feel you can't reach the ball, then move your right foot first, then your left. See, move first, right foot, then left foot, right foot first, then left foot. One more thing. Let's talk about pushing again. What kind of problem do players face when pushing? They often fail to make clean contact. For backhand pushes that are half long, not quite over the table. If you use too much power, it goes long. If you don't, it pops up. Let me teach you how to apply power properly. It's divided into 3 levels. For short balls, 80% power. For mid-distance, 60% power. For long balls, 50% power. Use 80% power for short pushes. Use 60% for half-long balls. Use 50% for long pushes. You need to control your power for each distance. You can't use the same force for short and long. For short balls, 80% works fine. You can keep it on the table. But with long balls, that same power sends it off. So first, you must adjust your power level. You should feel for yourself how much strength for short balls to get both quality and consistency, how much for half-long balls, and how much for long ones. You must fine-tune it to get the best quality shot. Second, between short and half-long pushes, the size of your motion should also change. For short balls, I might use about 60%. This is for short balls. For half-long balls, I go from 0 to 4. Control the size of your movement. You must control your motion well. It depends on where you're playing the ball. Where you stand determines the type of stroke you use. Because half-long and long balls have combined force, your swing shouldn't be too big. Short balls are softer, so you can make a slightly larger motion. If your opponent hits hard, stay even-paced. He hits hard, I stay even paced. He's steady, I accelerate. He's steady, I accelerate. If both of you stay even paced, he'll attack you. If he hits hard, and you hit hard too, the ball goes into the net. Many players create their own serve patterns. At first, the serve might not be very spinny. Or it could be highly spinny, then suddenly not at all. We have to adjust ourselves accordingly. If the opponent is soft, you must be strong. If the opponent is strong, you must be soft. Even paced doesn't mean just touching the ball. It means an even paced brushing motion. If your opponent hits with great power, I brush evenly. If he doesn't hit hard, then I accelerate my brushing.